What's up, everybody? Mike Anderson here. 603 tuning in as always. Got my good friend and my neighbor Billy Burr here. Part 3. We're about to dive into what it's like coming home from prison. After you do this prison bid, what's it like being able to get back into society and function? I'm gonna let the man tell his personal story himself, and we're gonna go from there. So the mic is yours, Billy.
All right,
let it go.
Most of this usually works better like if you have questions.
All right, so
I know what you're saying. It was like I can start from how my thought process started from like the last couple of months when I knew I was paroled, and
right. So when you knew you were gonna get parole, what was your thought process?
I'm sure everybody's heard it, except for you try to, first of all, you got to try to be really respectful for the people that aren't getting that opportunity to hit the streets again. And that's the big thing, because it's so easy, man, to just like want to talk about it, want to talk about the first thing I'm going to do and the first thing I'm going to do, and there's some people that are not going to have that ever happen again, and it's really hard to remember that sometimes. So it's just a respectful thing to make sure that you always know your surroundings.
That's right.
And who you're talking to.
That's right. So being that said, even what was your mental thoughts? I mean, not speaking in public.
I didn't really want to do anything but like sleep the time away. I just got that short man syndrome.
Yep.
Nobody saw me. I just stayed out of trouble for made sure that I stayed out of trouble. Just didn't want to get any tickets. Didn't want anything happening that could mess it up, because I already gone through a 6-month setback where I was a month from finishing the focus program, and it ended up catching a ticket over medication that ended up being out a month of the program, and then having to start that whole 6 months over again.
So you had to, the focus program, that was in Berlin, right?
Yep.
I also was in Berlin, as we know, the viewers know. I never did the focus program, but I've heard the horror stories, like you just said, of having to do this 6-month program under these strict sanctions, and accidentally, catching just a small ticket, and they make you restart the whole program again.
Yep. And the thing is, you gotta remember too, is that it's like I wanted to control it. Like I wanted to, my original violation for drug court was 18 months. That was the most they could impose, because that was what they suspended for me to do drug court.
Yep.
So that's all that they could impose for me to go back. When COVID was there, which was like a week or two, it hit the prison right when I got back in like September of 20. And R&D was just a mess. So they were holding everybody over, and everybody was testing positive, and they didn't know what they were going to do. If anybody was there during that time, they remember turning the dorms into like a science laboratory.
Really?
It was bad. Like they had it plasticed off, and they had it. It was bad.
Dude, I heard horror stories. Luckily, I didn't see it.
They got caught with their pants down. They did not know how to handle it.
Right.
Yeah.
Weren't prepared, especially R&D, the old part of Concord prison.
Absolutely.
I can imagine the infirmary being full.
They didn't even put people that were testing positive in the infirmary, because unless they were like really, really bad, because they had, they didn't want to infect everybody else, and they had to try to quarantine everybody, and that was one of the biggest problem with going to Berlin for the program, was that I was going to get 6 months suspended off that year and a half if I completed the focus program.
Right. Yep.
Successfully. So I would have had to have been up there within the first month or two for that program to even mean anything as far as getting time suspended.
Off your sentence.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then COVID hit, and it was boom. Like everybody was getting quarantined, and I thought I was gonna beat the system and call them up and say, hey, listen, I'm just gonna go to parole. I'll do the 18 months and get rid of focus. I won't do it. I'll just go and I'll do it on the street. And
right.
They were like, when you went to parole, you still need to do focus. I'm like, no, I don't. I have a motion. And I'm like, that motion doesn't mean anything.
Oh, no.
When it has that little box that says DOC programs. So make sure you check your paperwork.
Yep, when they check that box, that's it.
DOC programs, they've got you.
Yep.
Pretty much over a barrel.
So, I get a question because I wasn't in the prison at the time of COVID, thank God. When did you guys in R&D? Did you get to still go to the chow hall? Or
not
was
for
there
no,
movements
not
on
for
the campus? Or?
We did in the beginning, and then when it got strict, they were feeding us all meals right there.
So you were just getting fucked, man.
Right there.
So you were in the bird cages, 24/7.
Yep.
God damn.
It was horrible.
That is horrible.
Yeah. And I mean, unless
if you get a good if you get a good tier.
And I hate to like glorifize it, but you could always say if you had good meds, you're gonna sleep the time away.
Right,
you know,
fair enough. Yeah.
Because that was, and honestly, that's how I thought. I was just gonna sleep the time away. Do my 18 months and get out.
All right. So if we're gonna go that route, see me, I wasn't able to get any meds because I was so young and I had never gone to see therapy or anything. Were you able to? Were you able to get like Seroquel?
Yeah, because I had
things of that nature.
I already had like a mental health diagnosis,
right?
So
So
anxiety and depression and you know and whatever. You know, I mean. When you're in a scenario like that, man, you're just gonna. For my first bid, I learned how I was gonna make that second bid easier than suffering through what I did on the first.
Yep. It's a bad habit. But we do that. We learned that.
You learn tricks of the trade.
Yeah, the nature of
pretty
the
much
beast.
what it is.
That's what it is. Yeah. So fast forward to that. Did your bid? You got smoked on the focus program.
Yep, because I did the 18 months, and then I had to go do the focus program. So it wasn't like I didn't get any good time. Like I messed up when I thought I was beating the system, and said, "Hey, I got a motion." They said, "Yeah, you got the motion to take you away for 6 months, but not to get out of the focus program."
Right. So you still had to do the 18 months, and then you had the focus program.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
And then it did get winter out of quick.
Yeah, it did.
No, winter quick.
Yeah, you got cold quick. So, again, that's one thing about the way they make it so hard for us when you're in these, even you trying to do a program that's a prison health program, even though if you've ever been through the,
so
there's not really, it's a program, but you could get high on the yard anytime you want it, bro.
Well, I tried to do everything in my power possibly that I could get them to say, like, listen, he did a bereavement class, he did an anxiety class, he did this and this and this, so maybe IOP on the street would be okay for him.
Right.
Once, I hate to say it, but once she gets her claws in you, man, you're as good as, like, you better be in a coffin before you get out of that program.
You're dug
all
in.
there is to it.
I
had an officer say that to me. I've never seen really anybody get out of doing that program unless your minimum was out, or you were maxing out, or
completely maxed out, or some sort of.
Yeah.
And it's the same with drug court. You know, the drug court gets a hold of you. Like, you have to either do the right thing or don't, because it's a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
So we'll go back. So when you do finish this program and you're coming home, what were you coming home to, and what was your mentality then?
The only thing that I knew that I was coming home to was a bed, and I had a bed because of the Freeman house. I decided. I didn't decide. I chose. I decided to go that route because the hardest part of paroling, if you don't have family or if you don't have, is obviously a place to go to, an address.
That's facts.
It's something I'm dealing with now with the mail. It's like I've got a situation with disability. I'm claiming the paperwork that they just sent me. They wanted it back. I noticed this morning that they wanted it back October 10th, and they sent it the 30th of September, and I just got it Tuesday, which was the 14th.
Right. So you were
4 days past it already.
Yeah.
And so it's a situation of like I need to. And they told me when I called disability today to talk to about that. They said, you might want to talk to the post. And I said, unfortunately, it's not the post office. I said it gets put in a vehicle and it just sits there until it fires up. So my best bet is to make sure that it wasn't going to mess me up, but I had to go get a post office box,
A
and
P.O.
then and then keep your physical address so that they know where you are, because you have to have a physical address.
Yep. Yeah.
But you just can't parole to a P.O. box. That's what you have to remember, is you can get a P.O. box after you're out, but not when you're, paroling to.
Right, you have to have a physical address to
that they can go and check.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't check a P.O. box.
No, they can't.
And
it sucks. And they won't. But then you have like a place like this, we're in a motel to where you might get, you might get your mail once a month if they fucking like,
Yep.
and then you get a stack like this, and it's like, fuck that.
Yep.
So you're better off with a P.O. box.
And it was a thing like today that I didn't even notice until, because of the issue I'm going through with DHHS, trying to get cash assistance, and I didn't even notice it was that far past the date that they wanted it back until I had called and said, "Whoa, wait a minute here. We're already 4 days past. Then you wanted this back." You know what I mean? So
right.
I just got this mail on the 14th. So you know what I mean?
Like, what the fuck? Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
telling me that I need to make sure that I do something about this, and I said I can't really help that situation. It's just the way it is, unfortunately.
So, when you were coming home, did the prison help you at all with getting back into?
Once they've got you in their sights for parole, they'll push you out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't.
Yep.
The only time they'll drag their feet is like if they're 100% not sure that you're got any place to go.
Exactly.
And then they'll be like, "Well, this guy's not going anywhere anyway, so we're not going to waste our time."
Well, did they set you up with any programs or anything like that, or is that something you had to do on your own?
I pretty much so.
Like your first day out, what was your mindset? I know it's cold.
I'm just trying to think of what I actually got lucky. Like I didn't have a ride. I had to take the bus from Berlin to Rochester. Well, no, not even Rochester. I had to take the bus to Concord. So it was Concord where I took the bus to.
Right.
And then I had to get an Uber from Doorway. So if anybody ever gets stuck, Doorway will provide a ride if you're going to a sober living. I got stuck. Doorway got me an Uber from Concord to the Freeman House because I was stuck without transportation. So they were able to get me a ride, and they brought me right to the front door, pretty much.
Sorry, excuse me. So you were up in Berlin. To put it in perspective, you're up on Mount Washington, in Berlin, New Hampshire. You make parole.
Oh yeah.
Great feeling. Now they're gonna give you a bus. They give you a bus pass, right? Yeah. So you get the bus.
No, you have to buy it. They don't give it to you.
But you get state pay, right? $5 a week.
But still, you have to have somebody order it for you.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. They will order it for you.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
So you leave Berlin. You figured that all out. Hit the bus. Was it a cool bus ride? It's a pretty ride.
So yeah. It was just like I didn't care.
You were just so happy.
It could have been snowing.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. I was lucky. I got out in December. So
nice.
It was cold.
Yeah.
A little bit chillier than this, probably. But I was just happy to be out.
Fucking right.
And I didn't sleep much the night before, so I slept on the bus ride.
Yep. Yeah, of course. You don't ever sleep the night before.
No.
That's facts.
All I could think of was like, I can't wait. Yep.
So my personal story, when I left Berlin was I got extradited to York County, Maine.
Yep.
So that sucked. I knew that I wasn't, when at my parole date, I knew ahead of time I wasn't just leaving prison.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also aware that once I hit York County, I had a bail for me, so we could post a bail.
Right.
So I essentially was going home, but they got me up at like 3:30.
Oh yeah.
4 in the morning, and
because they don't want to tell you when they try to trick you. Yep.
And we're all the way up in Berlin, fucking New Hampshire. So now then they put me in those singular cells right as you walk in.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, my ride's gonna be here any minute. The ride didn't show up till like 11 o'clock.
Because they want to get you in there for third shift.
I was roached out, dude. I was stressing. I couldn't, you know what I mean? I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go bail. And by the time, and it fucking sucked. By the time I got to York County, my people were asleep. It was like 1 in the morning.
Yep.
So I had to spend the night there. Yep. To get bail the next morning. Oh my god,
that sucks.
It did suck, but Oh, wow, what a good feeling.
I mean,
and the ride from Berlin to York County was, I could feel I slept.
I mean, they didn't waste, like, they were at my door, like, was it even before breakfast popped, the doors, and they were like, "You ready to get out?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's go." I was pacing back and forth, like, let's get the hell out of here. And I had been lucky enough most of the time that I was in my second time around in the focus program, I maybe had a roommate for maybe a month.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it I had my own self.
Single thumb?
I just had gotten
Yep.
And especially at that last night where I didn't want to, you know what I mean, I really didn't want to talk to him. I just wanted to be like hyper focused on what I wanted to think about and what I was going to do. Yep.
Yeah, see, I was, we started on the racks. We talked about that the last interview. I started on the racks on A block, and I finally landed in cell 10 on B block in Berlin downstairs. Yep. But I always had a cellie, good cellies, but man, you know, when you're doing prison time, sometimes that single cell means a lot. But so when you did get home and you got into this Freeman House, how did that go? Was that a smooth transition?
It really was. I mean, it was already. So they really don't like. I don't want to say it. They don't cater to you like as far as like. They pretty much take you as like you're a grown man. You should be able to handle
yourself.
And one thing that I obviously learned in prison was how to advocate for myself.
Yep.
If it taught me anything was to be able to advocate for yourself. So like other than getting the ride through doorway, that was about the only thing that helped set me up. I mean, I know I had a bed when I get there. I knew where I had to go. But as far as like, it was pretty much go with the flow. Like, when we'll do paperwork when you got time, work on your meds when we got time. Because I wasn't there to interrupt anybody else's life. It was like they were actually, I wasn't there to interrupt their life. Like they were going to be an interruption for me.
Right. More than they just stayed out of your way and let you do your thing.
And I kind of just had to get in a routine, kind of, you know, doing meetings and stuff like that. Because the house has rules, you know, and requires, and I think that was one of my biggest things that, because my parole wanted 90 days at a sober living. Yep. And at my 89th day, I was calling my PO going, please, like, listen, I need my own place. I've had enough people, I've been around enough people for enough time, I'm ready to have my own place. And, you know, who knows, like, if me jumping the gun might have turned events the way they went, either the way they are right now. So I don't know. You never know, man. I don't know. Right. I know I had to do what felt right.
That's all. You got to go with your heart.
And what felt right was me having my own place.
Yeah. And how's that journey gone for you?
I mean, it's been. The beginning was actually not too bad. I had a job, a good job. Like, I was lucky enough. I've been, you know, a machinist for 12, 13 years.
Yep.
CNC work and with mills and lathes and working with metal. Like, so getting a job was never really a problem. Like, I always was sought after. Yep. I actually had a job in Somersworth a week after I got out, and I just didn't like. It was a new owner of a company that had been around for a while, so he was very meticulous about how he did things, and I saw it as like what a better opportunity to actually find a job that I'm happy with, that I'm like I want to be at every day, and not be miserable because I feel like this guy's standing over my shoulder every day, and you know, I didn't feel comfortable. And so I took the opportunity to start looking for something else, and I turned down one that I wish I had taken now, instead of, you know, I went with a smaller company. Yep. Because sometimes they're more of a, you know, close-knit feel.
Community, yep.
But now being that I went with that smaller company, I think I would have been better off with what ended up happening.
It's like a hindsight thing.
Yep.
You think about it at first, you make it just maybe a rash decision. You're like, fuck. At the end of it, you look at this people like, they were the right ones. Yep. Yeah, that is.
I'm trying not to shake.
I know, I'm my bad. It doesn't help they have the fucking gate locked.
Well, being by the pool would probably
We would at least be surrounded by bushes, though.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, man. Anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, I mean, granted, be prepared. Like, so if you're gonna have Medicaid, like I came into a situation where it was like I saw, and I wasn't really prepared for how like difficult it is right now in the apartment field. Like how hard it is to find an affordable, not to mention an apartment alone, but one that you can afford. Even making $27, $28 an hour. It's, you know, it's still $1,800, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 a month, and that's just for the rent. It doesn't mean, you know, if you got to pay electricity or heat or security deposit.
And what they want is a security deposit, and what I've come across,
first and last,
and proof that you make 3 times the amount of rent. Like, listen, bro, if we made 3 times the amount of $2,600, we wouldn't be staying in Rochester, my guy. Like, you know what I mean? If we were making 10 G's a month, we wouldn't be here. What type of proof is that? And then I feel bad in my personal experience because, you know, I'm the 2-time felon for a drug history. So if I want to get to get on a list, to get on a lease, you know, these people are not understanding.
Although think about it, you're luckier. You're luckier that it's actually a 2-time drug offense than it is a 2-time violent offender.
Oh, absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Because if you're a violent offender, you're all doors shut.
Yeah, you're fucking. Nobody
jobs,
wants you.
Jobs,
Exactly.
Yep.
So I do have opportunities with jobs and all that, but again, it goes with the health. Like, you know, you don't take care of your body for so long. It's not like I can just go hop back on a roof today. I could take it slow, but no employee wants to hear that you have to take it slow. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's what.
So next thing you know, after the first day, you're like, bro. You know?
And that's a good, you know, lead into like I was going to talk about next is that like I came up here, you know, at this hotel expecting to maybe 2 or 3 months and pay for it out of my paycheck. I checked with parole first, you know, make sure it was all right. And it put me, because I had not had my license in 5 years, I had to take the test again. Still have to take the test. I just got in a cycle that I can't. And right now, I'm stuck in. It's been, you know, it wasn't a hard time getting Medicaid because they set you up with that before you leave. To begin with, food stamps, you sign up for an emergency and they'll get you right started. It's the redeterminations after that start to get a little bit difficult. Like being in a place without a contract like we are now, without a lease where it's week to week, they consider you technically still homeless.
Yeah, homeless, right. Exactly.
So for food stamps, that new ABOD program they had, it exempts you from that program. So you don't have to do like, it's kind of like what unemployment wants you to do. They want you to go and either volunteer or for so many hours a week or do so many job searches. You don't have to do that when you're redetermining if you're staying in a week to week.
Like we are now, right?
They exempt you.
And we talked about earlier, personally, about the money that it costs to stay here. Like, it adds up so fast that it's literally a down payment on a house with a mortgage. If we were able to, like we said so many times, I should have just fucking camped out this summer.
Monthly rent, you figure it out. If monthly rent at $2,400 is a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yep.
And that's, you know, that's
and that's what we're paying here. You know, and I mean, it's nice, and we have our end is our end. You know, nobody fucks with us down there, so that's cool. But still, we don't have shit. And, you know, it'd be nice to have a kitchen, like a bedroom, and some shit.
We're close enough to the office right now. They're taking notes.
No, you know they're taking notes. That's all right. They can take the notes. We got receipts. Those motherfuckers, but it's like the DHHS. Like I'm fighting for custody of my son, so being in this place makes me in jeopardy because I can't. You know, it's impossible, but it's not the right thing to do with the 8-year-old son. You know, where he's in a safe spot. So but me as a man fighting for my rights now, as a son, I was like, I'll pay $20 My fiance pays $2,400 a month.
Yeah, they want you to have a place with a yard,
and we have our own PO box. She pays for that. We have all that, but it's like now we're trying to get an apartment. Saving the money up is very hard when you have to pay $500 a week.
Most of them want a reference too, and what kind of reference?
Exactly. And the references is one thing, but then we go to if I want to be on the lease. Then it comes to the history. This around here, people don't want to deal with it unless you go to that type of neighborhood, which again, DHHS won't let my son. You know what I mean? I'm not going to the hood trying to raise my son when he's in a nice place.
And the way it's been right now, like I had to apply for cash assistance because I ended up. So when I moved here, I ended up getting. I had some physical problems that were. Some of them were like a prior thing. So what happened to me, the infection that I got in my leg, led to the neuropathy, which is numbness in the feet. Diabetics get it a lot. Mine's from an injury though. Was that it made the neuropathy a lot worse. Like it spread to the back of my feet. It was either they think that it could have been maybe the way my leg was so swollen, the way I started walking, that it messed up my middle back, but it started making to the point where it doesn't hurt me to lift things and it doesn't hurt me to move around and bend over. It hurts to work with my arms above my head. I know that for a fact. But it definitely does not, like I'm good as long as I keep going. The minute I stop, then it's trying to start up again is a problem. And it makes me want to lean forward. It's almost like somebody having osteoporosis. It makes me want to lean forward.
Just grab your back.
The middle of my back. And it's I finally had to I went through like 6 jobs in about a 6-month period. The first job that I did have when I moved up here for let me go because I hadn't been there 90 days and my doctor took me out of work because my leg was so swollen. And I mean, that wasn't even like anything that was to do with me whatsoever. It was, they decided that they were far enough behind and they couldn't wait.
Right, they just had to replace you. Now, this was from an injury you had said.
That happened back in 2014,
How do you want to talk about
falling off a ladder at work.
Dude, that must have sucked, huh?
40 feet, up in the air. And it was
straight on your legs.
You landed straight, like it was just like when I hit the ground, it was like hitting an accordion. It's like feeling that you got the wind knocked out of you, but it was like, just think of like when you drop a soda can or something like that, an aluminum can, and it just crushes from the feet down.
That was you.
That's exactly how I felt.
You felt every
right up to my head. And it was like I couldn't even. My legs just gave out from underneath me, and I didn't move until the ambulance came in.
You knew instantly you had some serious damage.
Well, I didn't even notice until everything else had taken. Like it was such a big lump and a big hit. When I hit. That like I didn't even know my foot was broken until like I was leaving the emergency room. Like they went to either pull off my boot or they were doing something, and I was like, something's wrong with my foot. We need to check out because it was. And they looked at it and they're like, oh my gosh, it might be broke.
You might have a break.
And it was the only out of falling 40 feet. It was the only broken bones that I had, and the doctor said, he's like, you don't fall that far and land that hard and take that much of an impact with something is gonna mess up a few years down the line.
Guaranteed.
And you can pretty much relate it to and so it started with the numbness in my feet, and what I got was an infection of cellulitis, which is an infection of the skin. You get it through like a crack in your toe or a crack in your thumb, whatever. You can get it anywhere.
That sucked.
It cost me the job because I had planned on that, and I couldn't collect unemployment because I hadn't been out long enough. So they make you do it by your quarterly earnings, like they do it by quarters. So I didn't even have like enough built up quarterly to collect unemployment that it was even going to work.
Right.
So I had to start like, and there's no guarantee that this is going to work for everybody, but I literally had to start like I went on Google and I remembered during COVID that I needed a little bit of help. Paying for a room for a couple nights, so I moved into my new apartment. So like Catholic charities, churches had helped before, and that's what I started doing. I went on Google and just started working the phones. I learned how to advocate for myself.
I love that. Like you wrapping it up, you said prison did teach us how to advocate for ourselves.
Well, you remember like throwing in a request and then you get the request back, and if you don't get the answer you wanted, it was another week before you were going to even get that thing ready.
Anything ready. Yeah. So when you were able to, like, because a lot of these people, I know I have a lot of friends.
Make sure you're thorough.
Yeah, and put that legwork in. Like you said, call the churches. There are people that will help.
Yeah.
But if you show them that you're trying to do better, if you're just fucked off, then they're just gonna fuck you off too.
Not
you
even
know what I mean?
bother
Like,
calling them back or whatever.
Exactly. Answer the phone. And go to them.
And being that we are here, welfare doesn't consider it permanent housing. So they were only going, and being a single guy, I have a daughter that's grown. They weren't going to. They were only going to help like a week, and then they wanted to put me in a homeless shelter. And I was like, I'm not going to a homeless shelter.
Yeah, we go back to the pen.
Got everything back. I said, I'm not going to go. What am I going to put all my stuff in a storage room and then not be able to afford it and lose it?
You can't even afford it. They're just going to sell it.
Yeah. So it was a tough choice. I mean, I got very fortunate that I found the organization that I did. Because it's been a godsend. Because if it wasn't for him, I would definitely be in a tent. And right now,
right now, dude, you don't want to be in a tent. And God bless everybody that is out there. Because guys like us have been out there, but wow.
I didn't want to. I got put I did not want to claim disability. I did not want to. The people that were actually helping me started saying that you may need to think about filing for disability, because I was getting a new job and it was lasting like a month or two, and I was having a problem with my back. I couldn't stand up, and being around the machinery become a liability.
Right? Yeah. Especially you're a machinist, so you can't hurt yourself, and you're standing. Those types of jobs, 10, 12-hour shifts.
Yeah, and I tried
minimum.
I tried the 4 12-hour shifts, the 4-day 12-hour, and it just made it even worse. Like, because by the time the 4 days was off, after being off, I wasn't just barely getting recovered.
You were fucked. Yep. But all right. Anyways, I think it's cold. It's cold as fuck, guys. So we're gonna wrap it up. We got people coming in and out all over the place around here. Suspect as fuck. We're gonna have to start getting this old lady to put in a fireplace. Yeah, something like that. We're gonna have to do
fireside
something.
Chat.
Yeah.
We'll have a fire. 603 at the fireside chat.
Yeah, we'll do that for Christmas. The Christmas on next to the fire with the hot coffee
in the candy canes.
Fucking right.
You can wear you already got the striped shirt for Halloween.
It's not bad.
Yep.
All right, guys. I love you. Billy Burr, Mike Anderson, 603 tuning in. Let's go.
Cool.